Hey, what's good, y'all? How y'all doing? Listen, I'm making this video because I wanted to share with y'all something real quick. As I'm sitting here, I'm working on a big project, but I just hopped on social media and just to kind of get some inspiration. And when I was done scrolling through my timeline, some of the stuff that I saw in there, I was just like, damn, it's so easy how your mood could go from here to now your mood going from here. And why am I sharing that with y'all? I'm sharing that with y'all because we got to be careful what we put in our minds. You get what I'm saying? We got to be careful what goes up in here. Whatever is going on internally, it can cause us to view the world in a different way. So when we wake up in the morning, if you wake up in the morning at like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning and you wake up to your telephone ringing and then you get bad news, right? You just get bad news like, hey, don't come into work today, you're fired. Or you wake up, and you look outside and you're seeing somebody like repossessing your car, right? Or you wake up to an argument. Let's say you live with a roommate and you wake up to them answering the phone and they're having an argument. Or whether you have a family member you live with or friends and you wake up and maybe they're having a bad morning and they try to argue with you, right? Or you go on social media and you see negativity, right? It puts you in a certain state. And when you get in that state, you view the world from just how you are internally. And I'll share a story with y'all. My wife, when we wake up in the morning, we don't talk to each other. As weird as that sounds, we don't talk to each other. Like, we have a routine, we have a ritual. So like, I'll get up in the morning, I'll go to the bathroom and I'll make sure I charge myself, right? She'll get up in the morning and she'll go to her spot, or we have different spots we go to. Sometimes I'll go on my balcony, right? Because I like to be outside. And we have our rituals. We charge ourselves before we interact with each other. Because when you wake up in the morning, sometimes you have thoughts running through your head. How am I going to pay this bill? How am I going to do that? Man, I got a whole bunch of errands to run today, and I got to go take care of that. So you got to charge yourself, right? What I mean by that, give gratitude. Say, I'm glad to wake up today. There's a lot of people who don't wake up in the morning. Give gratitude. And my mindset with gratitude, was a simple one, something that I share with my kids. I let them know, as I was growing up, my aunts and uncles, they would tell me, whenever I would have situations where I'm crying, just crying for whatever reason, they would tell me, hey, boy, stop your crying, or may I give you something for cry about, right? I know y'all probably heard that before, right? Stop your crying, or I'm going to give you something to cry about. Same concept. When you give gratitude, the reverse of that is, whether you believe in God, whether you believe in energy, whatever you believe in, the universe, whatever you believe in, the external side of that says, stop being grateful, or I'm going to give you something to be grateful about. So, you either got to be grateful for the things you have in your life and strive and have ambition to go get more. So every morning I get up, I make a list of 10 things that I'm grateful for. I'm grateful to have a bed. I'm grateful to have light. I'm grateful to have water, cold water, hot water, because I grew up not having an indoor shower. I'm saying? I grew up having my bathroom outside. So it was when I came to the States, I started to have some of these things. So when you give yourself a chance to just charge yourself in the morning, it allows you to go out and face the day a little bit better, because the media is not your friend. And I want to be clear when I share that with you. The media is not your friend. Whether it's the radio, whether it's TV, whether it's the news, whether it's social media, it's not your friend. They have one purpose, and that purpose is to make money, right? The news want you to keep watching them because they get views. Social media wants you to keep using it because they get traffic, right? TV wants you to keep watching their shows because they get traffic, and that turns to this. You get what I'm saying? So they not your friend. So they're going to push any content that they feel will keep you engaged. And you really got to watch out for that, because they have a way of controlling us. You know what I mean? And I'll share an example with you that just to kind of let you know what I'm talking about. If you look for the last, maybe since January, February, March, April, we was all in a pandemic, right? We was all in a coronavirus shutdown, right? We were all locked down. So imagine that. For 90 days or more, you're on lockdown. home quarantine, right? And yeah. Yeah, give me a few minutes, I can make it for you. Okay. We on coronavirus lockdown, right? And you can't go outside, right? Your whole way of living has changed. You gotta wear a mask, right? You go on the news, all you see is death, all you see is virus, all you see is, don't touch this. Give me a few minutes, I'll make it for you. You can't touch this, you can't touch that, be careful because you could kill the elderly. The virus is mutating. People are dying left, people are dying right, businesses are closing down. So now you on lockdown for over 30 days, right? Then your kids are now on lockdown. So that energy that was at school that they were using, that energy is now home with you. Now you got to turn into a teacher. So whereas they had a teacher teaching each subject, right? Whether it's 5 subjects or 6 subjects the kids are taking, now you as a parent, you're teaching your child 5 subjects. So one, you got to get up, you got to live your life, and now you turn into a teacher, which you weren't trained to teach in that way, but now you got to take on that role, right? So now you're now moving into that energy. Work. For some people, work is what they live for, right? Which is not a way to live, but there's people who get up and they work 40, 50 hours a week. So because of that, they have their energy being put into something. Right? Whether it's sports, the kids had sports. We had sports. We were able to go to the park. You're able to do certain things and kind of transfer that energy out, right? I know in New York, they took the rims off of the park, so you can't even go to the park no more, which is kind of crazy, right? But now you have all of that energy that you were channeling and putting it into something. But due to the virus, everybody's now on lockdown. So where is that energy going, right? That energy is no longer being put into something. So what happened is we are now charged, we are now full of this energy, and that energy is now bottled up inside of us and it needs to go out. But every time we go into the computer, we go into the phone, right? Because we have the media on the phone. Every time you go into your phone or every time you go into the TV or you go into the radio, they push in fear, right? They push in anxiety, they push in stress, right? There's not a lot of channels out there who's telling you, or sharing with you certain ways how you could kind of get out of that state. There's 1 and 2 of them on there. YouTube got a couple channels on there that you can go and listen to motivation, personal development. There's some radio shows or some TV shows out there, but it's not a lot. For most of it, most of mainstream media is not in the business of helping to empower you. They're in the business of keeping you fearful, right? So now peep game. We in this state now where we bottled up. We full of anxiety, right? We full of doubt. We full of worry. We're not doing the things that we usually do anymore to keep us busy and to keep us active. So we all full of that. And then all of a sudden, you turn on the TV and then you see cops, killing black people, right? So now you have a whole bunch of people that is charged, full of energy. They on this emotional state where they just ready to explode internally, right? And then you take that energy and then you just put it here, boom. So basically what the media did is they took a loaded gun and they went like this. Boom. And that event just made everything just go crazy because the people were already charged. We were already home being charged from so many different crap. Whether it was you don't know how you're going to pay the bills. You don't know how you're going to eat. You don't know what life is going to look like after this coronavirus because everything was just so fearful. Right? And now you have this big event and this big event just went like this. Boom. To now where you having protests worldwide. Right? So when you look at that, you look at the media, and I say the media is not your friend because the media is not in the business of empowering you and giving you things and how you can kind of better yourself. Right? It's not like the media is telling you to read this book. It's not like the media is telling you, hey, while you're home for a couple of days, a couple of weeks, go study business. Go learn how to create your own economy. Go learn a skill where you can make your own money from home. The media is not telling you that. All the media is doing is replaying past events. And they're not replaying the good ones. They're replaying the bad ones 95% of the time. Maybe they'll show 1 and 2 good stories. But majority of the time, the breaking news that you're getting is never breaking news and something good. Like I said, maybe 5% of the time you'll get that. But their job is to really keep you engaged. And people are more engaged when there's negativity going on. For some reason, I don't know why that is. So we can't control what the media put out, whether it's social media, whether it's radio, whether it's TV, whether it's Facebook. We can't control that. However, we can control the states that we're in when we receive that information. And that's important, because if you've ever gotten bad news, or any type of news, because it's not bad news or good news, it's just news. If you've ever gotten news in a negative state, or when you're angry, or when you're sad, or when you're depressed, back in the day, you had certain generals that they would kill their news carrier, right? So if you've ever gotten bad news when you're already in a bad state, it just take that matter from you being here to you just going crazy, right? So, but if you're in a different state where you're like, you know what? I read this morning, right? I did my meditation this morning. I listened to some personal development. I grew myself that day. And then you go out there and face the world, you're a little bit more stronger, where things will bounce off of you, right? Where if somebody give you negativity, you're able to take that negativity and know that it's not that person giving you negativity. That person just probably got that information from somewhere and they giving it back to you. So you, instead of taking that and giving back negativity, you'll take that information and say, you know what? I don't hold you a fault for that, because it's not you. You don't know what you're doing. And you're able to convert that and say, you know what? Boom, let me bless you with something. Let me bless you with a couple words. Let me bless you with just by how I'm giving you off energy. You get what I'm saying? So I wanted to share that with y'all, because, at the end of the day, man, we really control what's going on. We control the narrative. We control the story. Regardless of what social media or the news or the radio, whatever they're putting out, those guys are only reporting the past, right? They're only reporting the past. They can't report the future because it didn't happen yet. And they can't report now because it's now. You control the now. So they're only reporting the past. So when you look at that, you got to look at that and separate yourself from that. You are not some of the situations that happen. You are not your emotions. You are not your thoughts. Those are just things that you experience. So some of the things that you could do is kind of like, one of the things that we do here in my house is, we have reminders around the house. So if you go in the bathroom, we have sticky notes on the window, on the mirror. We have affirmations in picture frames. We have different situations where we play music. We play different types of music. We play reggae, we play hip hop, we play classical music. Because music, it comes in sounds, and those sounds will kind of get that vibration going, and a different vibration will put you in a different state. It's just like colors and shapes. They put you in different states. So when you understand that and you realize that, hey, I'm in control of how I respond to situations, and it starts with me, you're able to take more control of your life. And I just wanted to share that, man, because that's a mindset that I realized that, I didn't have that mindset earlier on. I had to learn that mindset. But if you're not aware of it, if you're not aware of the mood swings that you have, if you're not aware of the different states that you experience, and there's a book, it's called Reinvent Yourself. I forgot the author who wrote the book, Reinvent Yourself. It's one of my favorite books, and I did a video about some of my stuff in my library. You can check that out. But it's called Reinvent Yourself, and there's a ladder that they talk about. There's a ladder. So on the ladder, you could have gratitude, you could have happiness, you could have joy, you could have hope, you could have peace, and then you could have anger, you could have hate, jealousy, depression, shame. As you go throughout the day, inspect yourself to see where you are on the ladder. So whenever I go and I interact with other people, whether it's my kids, whether it's my wife, whether it's whoever, whether I get on the phone, I always do a self-autopsy. And I say, where am I right now emotionally, mentally on that ladder? And if I'm down here where I'm like kind of like in a shitty mood, whether I'm kind of like upset or annoyed about something, I try to change my state. I change my state to go to a place where, what? Boom, I got to move that. And the fastest way that I know how to change your state is by giving gratitude. Because you could look around and say, man, I'm thankful just for having my foot. I'm thankful that I'm not wheelchairing it around. I'm thankful that I just went to the bathroom and everything works. Because there's people right now out there who may be constipated and something like that, and they can't go to the bathroom. I'm thankful for the fact that I have my teeth. You know, so the fastest way I know how to change your state is by giving gratitude. There's other ways. You could go drinking, you could go smoking, you could take drugs, but I'm talking about just what you control and what you were made with naturally. You know, so just want to bring that up there and share that mindset with y'all that, you know, you control your state, and every day make sure you charge yourself. And even when you go into bed, you know, and I share this last thing with y'all, when you go off to bed, usually the last thing that you see on the screen of your mind, that has a lot to do with how you go to bed, what you're going to probably dream about, and how you're going to wake up. You know what I'm saying? So before I go to bed, I have a couple things that I'll put on my TV, on my phone, and I watch before I go to bed. And I create like mind movies. So I'll watch my goals. You get like a picture collage, and you take screenshots of the things you want, you know, the goals that you have, the goals that you want to get. You take screenshots of them, right? You put some little nice music in the background, and then on your phone, you could create a little slideshow. And before you go to bed, it could be like a 3-minute slideshow. Before you go to bed, you're watching that mind movie of the things that you want. And as you go to bed, your subconscious mind will work on getting those things. You know, it's either that or you go to bed after watching, like I remember one night I went to bed after watching Rambo, the last Rambo. And if y'all seen that Rambo, I mean, Rambo was just killing people all different types of ways. He was using bow and arrow. He was using machete. He was like blowing people up. Man, it was like crazy. And I was like, damn, like after I done watch that movie, I was like, yo, I feel disgusted. It was like, it was too much. It was too much. You know what I'm saying? So I had to go play, some conscious music. You know what I'm saying? I had to go play some Bob Marley. I had to like uplift myself. I had to go read for a little bit, you know, and I had to go watch my mind movies and get my mind back in a state where, you know, I felt good about going to bed. You know, and however you are, the people in your house or your environment, they pick that up too. So if you've ever walked in a room angry, or you've been in a room and somebody was angry, you feel that energy. So it's very important that you're controlling your state and you're not allowing media, whether it's your phone, whether it's the radio, whether it's the TV, you know, you're not allowing that to control you, but you're like isolating yourself and knowing the difference of who control yourself. So I wanted to share that with y'all, man. I'm over here, I'm working on a big project with the wife. You know, she went out to the store. So I'm kind of sitting on a computer typing some stuff up. But I'm really excited, man. And, you know, look, a lot of good things are happening out there in the world. You know, it's not all negative. You know, a lot of good things are happening, man. The fact that you're here, you're still breathing, you know, that's something good right there. You know, so I wanted to share that with y'all. And, you know, bless up yourself, you know, enough respect. And I enjoy the rest of your day. All right? Peace.